This is how you use intermittent fasting to aggressively lose belly fat. Hey Wellness Warrior, it's Dr. Zyrowski, and it is no secret that in the Western diet, there is too much food consumption and too often. And what this does is this primes your insulin pump all day long, and it leads to a problem called insulin resistance. This essentially means that you have too much sugar floating around in your blood, and your body is unable to put that sugar into the cell. And there's a few key signs that you can look out for if you're struggling with high insulin levels and insulin resistance. Now, the one that we're really focusing on today is belly fat, okay? When you have belly fat, you want to think insulin, insulin, insulin. How can I get insulin down in my body so I can lose this belly fat? But there's other key signs that you can look out for to determine if you have an insulin resistance issue, because this is important to know if you're trying to lose belly fat. It gives you a good idea of how hard you're gonna have to work, how much effort you'll have to put forth if you truly want to get to the bottom of losing that belly fat. And most people, like myself, we do. And so therefore, here's some of the key signs to watch out for. So one is going to be hypoglycemia. And this means that you are going and having low blood sugar. This may happen between meals. This could happen in the morning. And essentially it can cause mood changes. It can cause dizziness and also just make you not feel too well. So hypoglycemia is definitely a key sign. And this is going to happen often because what happens is that when you consume food, you have high blood sugar, but in between your blood sugar just plummets and doesn't feel good. Next is going to be tired after eating. So if you eat a meal and you're finding yourself fatigued all the time, that's definitely a key sign. Hunger and cravings. Now, if you're craving sugar and carbohydrates all the time, this means that there's a good chance that you're suffering from some degree of insulin resistance. Next is blurred vision, thirsty all the time, and then also constant urination, okay? So as we develop this issue of insulin resistance, it puts on belly fat. And so that's why I said, if you have excess belly fat, you really want to get rid of it. We have to be thinking, what do we have to do to drive that insulin down? And that's why we're talking about fasting today. Now, if we use fasting, it will drive our insulin low and it will help us target that belly fat, leading to the stimulation of lipolysis, which is going to be the breakdown of those fatty acids so that they can be used for energy and not stored around your waistline. So as you're trying to target the stubborn belly fat, you may find that you're exercising and eating right, but it's still not enough. You still have insulin resistance, prediabetes, PCOS, whatever it might be. And the reality is I see all the time when working with people that in order to break through that plateau and actually get you results, you need to start implementing some levels of fasting, which we're going to talk about in this video, so stick around to the end. But before we talk about that, this video is sponsored by Nutricor. Are you tired of going to your doctor only to be handed pills that you're told you'll have to be on for the rest of your life? Are you tired of taking copious amounts of supplements and still not getting well? Well, that's why I recommend Nutricor. You can work one-on-one with a health professional, and Nutricor uses the cutting-edge natural health science to cut through the confusion and get directly to the root cause of your health concerns. You can click on the link below and schedule a complimentary wellness advisor appointment call and talk to someone who can determine if Nutricor is right for you or not. Click on the link below to get started today. Now, as we look to fasting in order to target that stubborn belly fat, here's the methods that I love to use because it works so well. Now, first, what we like to start with is 16-8 intermittent fasting. And you can do this 5-6 days a week. And then one day a week, I like to throw in a 24-hour fast, okay? This is very good because this doesn't put you in a position where you're cutting calories too low, which causes some other concerns, which I'll talk about in just 1 minute. But it allows you to really push down those insulin levels, drive down your blood sugar, and get you the results that you're looking for. And so those are the two ways that I like to fast every single week. Now, one day a week, and I really suggest this, one day a week, you should be eating a full 3 meals, eat throughout the entire day, because what we want to do is we want to create something that I call metabolic confusion. And the reason that I think this is so important is because if you are patterning your metabolism, it's just like going to the gym and working out and doing the exact same workout every day. You find yourself in a rut, you're not getting any results, and you plateau. So we have to break through that plateau. And as I mentioned before, in order to break through a weight loss plateau, fasting typically is the next step. Now we have to remember with fasting, our goal is not to starve ourselves. It's very important that we're eating adequate calories. But the one thing about fasting that tends to work out pretty nice is it does create a natural calorie deficit. Now the reason that that is a good thing is simply because on average, people overconsume around 1,000 calories a day. So if using fasting helps you eat the proper amount of calories and cut down a little bit, that's a really good thing. Now, what we don't want to do is put ourselves in more than a 500 calorie per day deficit. And the reason for that is because if you do that for a long period of time, you can actually crush your metabolism. What the research shows is that if you have a 25% reduction in your calories for more than 3 months, it can actually decrease your metabolic rate by as much as 10%, right? And this is why we love fasting for targeting belly fat, simply because we do not end up getting that metabolic decline with fasting. In fact, research shows that short-term fasting will boost your metabolism by as much as 14%. So that's huge. We want to boost our metabolism, not decrease our metabolism. So let's say as you're on this journey to targeting that belly fat, and we already mentioned insulin, we have to drive it down. Blood sugar, we have to drive it down. And if you have belly fat, you are not adequately driving it down. Let's say you start doing the 16 and 8, you start doing a 24-hour fast once a week, but then you want to go a little bit further in order to drive better results. There is more that you can do. Now, the more that you can do is put in a 48-hour fast. I love 48-hour fasts. I like to do them roughly bi-weekly. I think what I find for myself to work out as a really good schedule is I'll do a 24-hour fast one week, and the next week I will do a 48-hour instead of the 24-hour. And so if you throw that in bi-weekly, that's really good. And you can even do a 3-day water fast. Now, I don't recommend doing a 3-day water fast any more than once a month, and I really push that we have to be careful with this fasting, okay? There's no reason that we should be going above and beyond some of the things I'm mentioning here. There's no reason that we should be pushing ourselves into that mode of like starvation, right? Because we are hurting our metabolism if we do that. And our whole goal is to boost our metabolism. So in our eating window, we need to get adequate calories. We need to make sure that we're hitting the proper calorie mark. And we're taking this step by step where we do 16 and 8, we try the 24, we try the 48-hour, we try the 3-day in order to get better results. These are things I love because with fasting, we maintain muscle mass, we burn fat, we help reset our metabolism, and in fact, if we do it correctly, like the way that I'm mentioning it here, what we can do is we can actually drive up our metabolism to just turn your body into a fat-burning machine. Your body doesn't need all that stored fat. You are not going to starve in the near future. We have grocery stores. Things are very different today than it was back in primal times. Our bodies are very smart. Fat storage is a survival mechanism to get us through. But if you're walking around with a lot of it, then you have a lot of fat to last you a lot of fasting days. So make sure that you're always taking a really smart approach to this when it comes to losing belly fat. I think that fasting is the most scientific way that you can actually focus on losing belly fat today. It breaks through the plateaus, it gives you the results that you're looking for, and does this without all the negative side effects that you get from eating 6 small meals a day and cutting your calories to a huge deficit, which eventually leads to crushing metabolism. Fasting does not do that to you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this one, I think you'll really like this one right here.